What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a DFS strategy video for the 2024 Bermuda Championship. My name is Eric, and I'm here with SweetSpotDFS to go over everything you're going to want to know on how to hit, or at least how to target, the optimal lineup this week. Your choices will help you hit the optimal lineup. I like to cover course and tournament information. I like going over past optimal and GBP winning lineups. I like to go over the bucket system, which is unique to the SweetSpot process. And then I go over the Marquee Tee Times and finish it up with building lineups at the end. All of this, of course, to help you win some money this week. I do have timestamps in the description. I don't know if you ever see that disclaimer that goes across the screen, but I usually try to put that in there. I usually like to talk about channel updates. I like to go over giveaways here in the beginning and basically just share with you anything that I find important. So if you are watching this on replay, I know this is a Wednesday night, so most likely you're not watching on replay, but if you are, just skip ahead. Easy as that. I have a little chapter mode down here, so you can find the section that you want to talk or you want to go to. Pretty darn easy, and you should be able to get you across. But anyways, before I get in the video, a couple updates. I'm sorry this didn't come out on Tuesday night. I was in the Minneapolis area apartment hunting. I'm looking to move back there, which I did find an apartment, and I have signed a lease. So I will be moving back at the end of the month. That kind of plays into plans that I want to do with the website, but not really going to get in the way that much. As many of you know, I have completed the database. I have cleaned the data. I've done everything. I've been building reports behind the scenes. If you've been to any of my website streams or even in some of these strategy videos, you probably have seen or heard me talk about those things. It's funny because I didn't really have much experience in the Power BI realm or the Power BI world. And while I'm working through it, I'm finding I want to do things a little different. I want to do things a little different. And it keeps happening. But I think I got it to a point where I can just make it very simple. So next week for the RSM Classic, because next week is the last PGA Tour tournament of the year before the season changes and the Century kicks off the 2025 PGA Tour season. That'll be a whole new thing, and I am planning on having everything 100% updated. The website is going to be exactly what I've been preaching and promising and all that stuff. That will be done by the new year. So I will, what I was getting at is next week I'm going to show you what one of the reports looks like that I'm building on the website, and showcase that to you, to give you a little bit of hope and inspiration or motivation to sign up on SweetSpotDFS.com to be a member. And of course, there's a giveaway that I'm doing. I should have created a graphic for it. $1,000 worth of giveaways. You need to sign up on SweetSpotDFS.com to qualify to enter into those giveaways, and then you got to be subscribed to this channel. So you need 2 of those things. And then of course, somewhere down the road, I will create another way for you to get an entry, like commenting here in these videos, all that kind of stuff. But you do have to become a member at SweetSpotDFS.com. And quite frankly, it's pretty darn easy. I'm going to pull up on the screen. Bear with me here. So this is the website, SweetSpotDFS.com. I'm going to open up an incognito mode and just show you how easy this is. So if I go to SweetSpotDFS.com, yet again, there's also a link for it in the description down below. When you get here, just go up to the login portion here and go join now. Select free. So free is all that you need to do for this giveaway. Click on the little select button that's over here and then enter the information that comes up on the next screen. It's pretty simple. I need a username from you. I need you to give me a password and then an email address. So I can contact you through your email address if you've won the giveaway. So again, go to SweetSpotDFS.com, create an account if you haven't already. I will be giving away $1,000 worth of giveaways. Again, you have to be a member at SweetSpotDFS.com, and then anything else that I'll do in the future to enhance or to better your odds in winning, I will let you know. But as of right now, this is all that I really require, and this is the easiest way to contact you, because I will get your email address through this website, and I'll be able to let you know if you won the giveaway or not. So again, go sign up if you haven't. What else? Again, $1,000 worth of giveaways. Most of that's going to be through memberships. Again, I'm going to showcase this website to you next week during the RSM Classic. So I will have a report and I'll show you what it looks like. And quite frankly, you're going to need an account on SweetSpotDFS.com to get it, a free account. In the future, you will have to pay for it, but for the time being, I'm going to let you use it however you'd like. And again, just to repeat myself and remind you, next week I'm going to showcase that. I'm also, by next week, going to have an opportunity for you to put an order in for SweetSpot DFS merchandise. And I think on stream, I think next week's stream is just going to be like a community stream. We'll talk about DFS, golf, and stuff like that. But towards the end of it, or maybe I'll do a Wednesday. No. Okay, I figured it out. I'll do a Wednesday standalone stream. I won't have a members only stream that Wednesday night. It'll just be a community stream, and we'll go over different designs that we like for t-shirts, and I'll put an order in that day where you can, purchase some of those t-shirts if you would like. Some of you guys have banked money from giveaways that you've done in the past, so therefore I will buy those t-shirts for you guys. You'll just have to let me know like how much money you've won. I'm pretty sure, I can go back to my video logs and figure out how much money you guys truly won, but I'll just take your word for it. Like, if it doesn't sound crazy, it's not going to be that big of a deal to me. I'm pretty sure I know most of what you guys have earned or have won. So with that being said, again, that will be next week during the RSM Classic Wednesday community stream, going over t-shirts that you guys can buy right before Black Friday. And yeah, I'll also showcase the website during that stream. I don't think I'll do it Tuesday, but maybe I'll be using the website to stream. We'll see. This weekend I'm going to work pretty hard. But yeah, what I was talking about earlier was I was in the Twin Cities, the Minneapolis area, because I got an apartment, moving there at the end of the month. And that was Monday. I did all the touring. I came home, or I came back, and I was exhausted, tired beyond belief. I fell asleep at 9 p.m., which I usually am up till like 2 a.m. Went to bed super early. So I didn't get anything updated, which I apologize for those that use the website for the anchor buckets, which I'll be going over in this video, or the combination buckets, I should say. I apologize. I did not update those. And when I was working on them tonight, I realized I didn't update them with the results. So if you're frustrated with that, I apologize. Honestly, that's my bad. And then yesterday was super busy. I picked up a Zamboni shift. So yeah, I drive the Zamboni, and that was the first shift of the year. So that cut into my Tuesday night. So I've been busy. And also haven't really felt 100%. So those are the reasons why I had the delay. But enough of that. I went through all the updates, all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about giveaways. I only had 5 entries because I forgot to do a roll call. So my bad. I will remember to do one tonight, at least one, if not 2. And the 5 people on the screen, you are going to win $5. In fact, I forgot to even mention that on the screen here. Here are your giveaways. This is what it looks like. Be subscribed, comment below. You earn your entry by participating on this channel. I always do $5 weekly giveaways, and then monthly if we hit the sub goal. That's way over there. I had 783 subscribers earlier this morning. 2 of them just decided to cancel, which, hey, it is what it is. Sorry for you guys not subscribing, but in order to win $100, I need to get the sub goal met. We got to get to 800 subscribers. And we also need to get to 1,000 subscribers for me to give away $1,000 worth of giveaways. So all of those all rely on all of you new time watchers and viewers of the channel, of the video, to subscribe to the channel, comment. However, I mean, that's how you get your entries, to comment here. And AJ, no big deal, man. It's all good. It's all good. And I'll talk more about other things later on in the video. So there you go. Here's the giveaway. I always do $5, and let's go ahead and run that right now. Eric Carnivore, congratulations, sir. You are a $5 winner. Contact me where you want that money sent, and I will send it to you. But congrats, man. Okay. I talked about basically website updates, channel updates, not so much channel updates. Sort of. Life updates. Let me show you. Where am I going with this one? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Website. We'll stick with the website. Did you know that you can request the optimizer? If you didn't know, I have an optimizer. It looks just like this right here. This is what I'll be running, building lineups with later tonight. If you want access to that, you go to the website, SweetSpotDFS.com, go to Fantasy Tools, down to the optimizer. And then that will send you to a page that looks like this. You just enter your email address right in here, request now. I get an email that I need to reply to. It's not an automated email. I haven't set that up yet. I'm not even sure how to do it right now, but I will get to it when I do. And if I see it on stream while I'm streaming, I will send it to you while I'm streaming. I can do multiple things at once. So yeah, go to the website for the optimizer. You can also look at the cheat sheet, which there's also a link in the description down below, but you can find the cheat sheet here at SweetSpotDFS.com. If you click this button right here, it will send you to the cheat sheet that I have. And if you want to follow along with me throughout this video, by all means do so, because I do have the bucket system that's up here. I have the dream sheet that's up. You can use both of those while I go through the video. Otherwise, you can use the website. There's a little scroll bar here that you can use to get places that you need to get to. Okay. I was like, where is the scroll bar? But it's there. You can use the website, like I said. And then later on, I'm going to be going over the 7K combo buckets, which are available to free members on SweetSpotDFS.com. And then I also have a members only page, which I have to refresh because I just published it before going live. This will have the combo buckets for the 10, the 9, the 8K, which you can see right there, as well as the 6K combo buckets. And I will talk about those when we start building lineups. But these are all available to you on SweetSpotDFS.com. That's all that I have. Let's go ahead and talk about the golf course and the tournament information. Of course, I like to start with the tournament fact sheets. If you don't know where to find these, it's called gcsaa.org. That is the website. I'll repeat it again. It's gcsaa.org. Scroll to the bottom of the page. Here, I actually have it up. So it's going to look like this, although you can't really see the header, but yeah, looks like this. And you'd scroll all the way down to the media room down here. And the tournament fact sheets are right there. So you click on that, and it'll send you to the 2024 tournaments, which you will find the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. I like to go over the tournament fact sheets to give you guys data points for researching. Now, it's Wednesday night. Most of you guys have already been through this with other streams, and I'm sure you've done your own research. But in case those that have not, this is in Bermuda. It's a tiny island. It's going to be at the Port Royal Golf Course. And we have data that goes all the way back to 2020 on this golf course and this event. So you can go back and use all that information at your disposal for your research purposes. It is a par 71, 6,800 yards. Now, if you haven't heard already, wind is going to be a big factor. And so far, it's forecasting that the PM AM wave is going to have a more forgiving wave. So what that means is the AM, the Thursday AM, Friday PM tee times are going to get penalized a little bit, because that's where the worst wind is going to be located. And in case you didn't know, I include the waves not only in the optimizer, but also the cheat sheet. So let me go ahead and get to SweetSpotDFS.com, open up the cheat sheet. Let me zoom in a little bit. You're going to see the wave in column N. So column N will have your wave, and you're going to want to target more of the PM AM golfers as of right now. I'd pull up the wind thing, but it doesn't really matter. Again, you probably have seen this on other sites or on other podcasts, heard it on other podcasts, seen it on other streams, stuff like that. I'm not going to bore you with going over the wind, but that's what so far we're being told, and what we're seeing is a PM AM is going to have the quote unquote wave advantage. I can talk more about that later on, because I bet you anything the optimal lineup will have at least 2 golfers from the opposite wave. It usually always does, but we can talk more about that later. Number of bunkers, there's 87. Go ahead and use that if you want. 4 ponds, 7 holes where that water is in play. So you can use that information if you want. I don't know how beneficial it is. I don't know how much of noise that it creates, but you could use that information. This is the most important piece right here, turf grass. And I have Bermuda on the cheat sheet. So that is the grass that you will see on the cheat sheet. I bet you I haven't even updated what it says on the top. It might even say NA, or it could even say bent grass. I'm not sure, but it is Bermuda grass. When I copied it over, I used the Bermuda stats. You have them on the greens, you have them on the collars, the approaches, tees, and fairways. Now the fairways, I guess, do have a zoysia grass mix. So if you want to add zoysia to any of your models, go for it. Not a big deal. Robert Trent Jones is your architect, the senior, I should say. Again, that's a data point you can use for researching. And that's all I'm going to say about the golf course. I guess what I could say, I do map out the golf course and try to find if there's a shot shape that is advantageous or not, and this week there is not. So you can play any golfer you want. There's not really a shot shape that's going to matter. Now, when we talk about the golf course, it is a weak strength of field. I have 65. This is the old rating that the OWGR used to do, where it looked at the OWGR up to that date. It looks at the previous FedEx Cup rankings, and it has a formula that creates the score. Now, in my score, I actually remove the home field advantage that it used to do, that the OWGR used to calculate in there. I don't use that. I just don't care. So it's just really looking at OWGR and FedEx Cup rankings, and that is, again, the old formula from the OWGR. I just like it because it really skews, like the 65 of the strength of field rating that you see on the screen. It is extremely weak, extremely weak. This is like Corrales Punta Cana. It's Puerto Rico Open. It's all the alternate events that you possibly could think of. That's the strength of field that you have right now. And I think what I had heard this somewhere down the road, that the top golfer in the field is Lucas Glover. Yep, 48th in the OWGR. So only one guy inside the top 50 of the OWGR is playing this week. So it's an extremely weak strength of field. And that is a data point you can use for researching. Last year, it was 60 for your strength of field rating. In 2023, it was 34. So it was even weaker in 2023. In 2022, it was 68. So closer to the strength of field. And then I don't have it for 2021. So yeah, I mean, you could look at, it's a great tournament to use course history on, tournament history, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing to me. I mean, they've played at this golf course every single time that they've had the Bermuda Championship. So by all means, use course history. And I think it's fine. I think it's fine if you want to use it. We'll talk more about that when we get to the buckets, because the buckets include course history. The buckets include last year finishes, all that kind of stuff to really narrow down your player pools. So I don't really have anything else. Oh, there's 120 golfers in the field. 120. Typically, we see 132. So it is a smaller field. So I guess you get a little bit more bang for your buck with that 65 strength of field rating for this tournament versus other years this tournament has played. You're still going to have top 65 in ties and cuts. So 6 of 6 through the cut should be pretty high this week. If you want, I think it's a perfect time to take more risks when it comes to building your lineups. We will be talking about the pass optimal GPP and winning lineups, or pass optimal and GPP winning lineups here shortly. And we'll kind of try to theory craft a little bit when it comes to building lineups a bit more. But again, I think you can take a little bit more risk this week and not be too worried about, you know, any of your high price guys missing the cut. I mean, you're still going to have to worry about your low price guys, but I think you can still tap into the 6K range a little bit more, or as comfortably as you have before. Let's put it that way. And I think that'll be fine. So let's move on to pass optimal in GPP winning lineups. The first year that I actually have for pass optimal and GPP winning lineups is 2021. I am not sure if they had DraftKings data in 2020. I just don't have it. I don't have it recorded. So in 2021, your optimal lineup left $5,300 on the table. I don't recommend that, and I never will. It is too difficult to build lineups, trying to leave a ton of money on the lineup or on the table. You create way more combinations, possible combinations of lineups that can be the optimal lineup or a GPP winning lineup when you leave a lot of money on the table. You actually narrow the amount of lineups you can create if you don't leave that much money on the table. Now, some of you might worry about duping lineups that way. I'm here to say, who the hell cares if you dupe a lineup? I hate that whole rhetoric, because I understand that the top end prize is like $50,000 in some contests, and then second place is 20,000, maybe even 15, maybe 10. So if you dupe a lineup, that means you add those numbers together. Let's just say it's 10,000 plus 50,000. That equals 60, and you divide it by 2. So you win 30,000 instead of 50,000. You want to know something? Are you really going to complain about losing out on $20,000? And in fact, if you were to pivot to a lower owned or whatever, or a different type of lineup, I bet you don't even win. I bet it even takes you away from first place. So who the hell cares? The whole duping thing is so bananas to me. I think that's the dumbest argument people make when it comes to building lineups. Anyways, I say don't leave a lot of money on the table, because it just makes not so much don't, but limit the amount of money you leave on the table. It helps with the lineup building. It makes it easier. You don't have that many combinations that you can, resort to. It kind of narrows the type of lineup you want to build. And especially if it follows kind of the same, the rules that you're going to see here, or the same trends that you're going to say here, or you're going to see here, it's probably going to help you win more money in the long run. So as we go through this, just keep track of what price tags you see, what type of salary construction that occurs in these years. You're going to see a trend, and I'll point it out as we go through this. But again, your optimal lineup left $5,300 on the table, and it included Brian Gay at $6,300, Wyndham Clark at $74, Ollie Schneiderjans at $6,200, $9,500 Denny McCarthy, $7,900 Stuart Sink, and $7,400 Matt Jones. That was your optimal lineup. That scored 637 points. Your $1 GPP winning lineup are all the golfers here highlighted in blue, and that was Brian Gay 63, Doc Redman 10-4, Denny McCarthy 9-5, Stuart Sink 7-9, Matt Jones 7-4, and Scott Piercy 8-5. Or a different way to talk about this is it follows the 10-9-8-7-7-6 salary construction that I usually advocate for, that I usually preach. And I think that's a perfect way to start your lineups is 10-9-8-7-7-6. And you can see the GPP winning lineup that year left $0 on the table. It scored 596.5. Now, that's 40 points, below the optimal lineup, which is actually pretty good. It's pretty good. Being within 50 points is usually kind of your average between the GPP and the optimal lineup. Now, I actually have a more realistic optimal that scored 607, so it beats the $1 GPP winning lineup. This one left $600 on the table, and it went 10-4, 9-5, 7-7, 7-6. So there are different ways you can get there, but each lineup that I talked about, now I shouldn't say each lineup, not the optimal, but it includes a 10K golfer and it includes a 9K golfer, as well as a 6K. So those three pieces so far you saw for any type of lineup combination that I was just talking about in 2021. 2022, your optimal left $500 on the table, and it scored 666.5 points, so not quite the devil's number, but pretty darn close. Your GPP scored 586. So there's about an 80-point difference between the two. The optimal went 7, 6, 10, 9, 8, 7, or 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. There you go. That was your optimal lineup, and it left $500 on the table. Your GPP winning lineup was 7, 10, 8, 7, 7, 8. So that would be 2 8Ks, 2 7, or I'm sorry, let me back it up. That's 1 10K, 2 8Ks, and 3 7Ks. That was your GPP winning lineup, and it left $100 on the table. But again, the optimal had a 10K golfer in it, as well as a 9K golfer, and an 8, and I already said it, 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. So that was your 2022 GPP and optimal lineup. Moving on to 2023, your optimal left $1,600 on the table. It scored 695 points. Your GPP scored 653, and it left $0 on the table. Let's go over both of those before talking about this realistic lineup. Optimal 10, 10, 7, 7, 6, 6. 2 10s, 2 7s, 2 6s. And those are all the golfers here with the black tick marks. Your GPP winner was 10, 7, 7, 10, 7, 7. So 2 10s and 4 7s. And it's a different 10K golfer. Denny McCarthy was in that one instead of having Seamus Power and Thomas Dietrich. So I find that very interesting. Again, GPP left $0 on the table, scored 653 points. Optimal scored 695. So it's a 40-point difference. The realistic lineup that I have here scored 683. So it's really, 12 points behind the optimal, and it left $300 on the table. That also starts out with 2 10K golfers, 3 7s, and a 6. So the common trend, again, what you're seeing is there's a 10K golfer involved, a 6K golfer. This time there's no 9K, but 2 10Ks, 2 10s, a 6, and a 7. Moving on to last year. Your optimal lineup left $200 on the table. It scored 775.5 points. Your GPP winning lineup scored 733 points. So there's a 40-point difference between the two. Optimal left $200 on the table. The GPP left $100 on the table. Your optimal went 7-1, 9-6, 7-7, 7-3, 10-7, 7-4. Another way to say it's a 10, a 9, and 4 7Ks. The GPP winning lineup was 7-7-7, 10-8-8. Or a different way to say that is a 10, 2 8s, and 3 7s. Now the SweetSpot optimal, which I recorded last year, scored 706 points. It did not beat the GPP winning lineup. So that's unfortunate. And that included a 9, or let's see, it's a 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 7 approach. So take that for what it's worth. I couldn't tell you what I thought the SweetSpot optimal was last year. I have learned throughout, the last couple years, and especially throughout this last year, maybe I was a bit too strict with the Sweet Spot optimals when it came to this. And that's why it didn't take down the GPP winning lineup. I have made updates to the whole process since, but I'm not sure if that's exactly why the Sweet Spot optimal did not beat the GPP. But here's the thing. Here's what I've seen. 10Ks, 9Ks, and, you know, a 7 and a 6 are very common in all of these builds. When I look at the bucket totals, so I have this whole engine page basically that feeds into the summary page that'll show you where we talk about projections and stuff like that. I like to look at the salary totals just to see how different is this year versus other years. This year we only had 2 10K golfers in the field. It's Seamus Power and Mackenzie Hughes. I'll talk more about that here shortly. 9K, we have 9 of them. On average, we have 7.25, but there was another year in 2023 where we had another 9K golfer, but this is 132 golfers in the field, just to remind you. 132. There are 9 AK golfers. That's 1 less than typical, so I think the AKs are pretty much where we can forecast them, project them. And 7s are pretty much the same. High 6Ks are pretty much the same, and so too are low 6Ks. So really, it's only the 10K range that is very different. And in fact, you could probably substitute one of these 9s to be a 10K, and it would look a bit more normal. It would look more comfortable. So here's the thing. When we look at some of these other leaderboards, 10 for Doc Redman. Now, Doc Redman during that year or during that time was very streaky. He, you know, was a approach type of player that could make putts. Very streaky. Let's just put it that way. Very streaky. Denny McCarthy is a short ball hitter. Very good putter. He was your $9,500 golfer. But Doc Redman, all accounts, not the greatest 10K golfer that I think we could have had there. Let me put a filter on this, and we'll filter by salaries. Let's take a look at what the 10K golfers were. Brendan Todd, 11-1. He had won the year before. Brendan Todd's not that great of a 10K like quality golfer. Will Zalatoris was very young, but very promising. Like, he had a lot of good finishes, and he did finish 16th, which was not bad. HV3, Harold Varner III, to me, not a high quality 10K golfer. That also applies to Doc Redman. Emiliano Grillo, like, we've seen him a few times in the 10K range. I think that's fine. But, you know, there's 2 quality 10K golfers in that year, in 2021. And one finished 4th that was in the GPP winning lineup, as well as the Sweet Spot Optimal, and then one other golfer finished inside the top 20. So it's not terrible. It's not terrible. If we move on to the next year, and we take a look at the salaries here, and I sort from top to bottom, and we look at our 10K range, we had Matt Fitzpatrick. 75.5 points is what he scored. It's not terrible, but it's not winning you a GPP, and obviously didn't win anyone a GPP that year. Came in stone cold, like, did not have any stats leading into that event, so I don't know. Christian Bezainho, I would say not a quality 10K golfer. Mito Pereira, not a quality 10K golfer. Patrick Reed has name value, finished 2nd. This was 2022, so this is after his Masters, not the year after, but he had already won a Masters tournament. So he is a relevant golfer in the 10K range. That was probably worth it, and he was in the optimal lineup. And then Seamus Power was another, well, I wouldn't so much say a quality 10K golfer, but of the names here, Matt Fitzpatrick and Patrick Reed were, like, you know, decent 10K golfers. So you're going to kind of see this trend as I go through this. Even though we've had multiple 10K golfers in the 10K range, I truly believe your highest quality golfers tend to play pretty decent. And I mean, like, look at 2023. Dietrich finished 2nd. He was in the optimal. McCarthy finished 6th. He was in the GPP winning lineup. And then Seamus Power won the tournament, and he was in the optimal. Adrian Moronk was not a quality 10K golfer that year, but obviously was in there because of his OWGR rating, I'm imagining. And he missed the cut. And then if we look at 2024, You have Adam Scott, the top price guy at 10.7. That's a quality 10K golfer. He was in the optimal, the GPP, and the SweetSpot optimal. Thomas Dietrich, I would say, was a high quality, 10K golfer. I mean, not a PGA Tour winner, not a perennial golfer. So I guess I say quality tongue in cheek to some extent. He missed the cut, obviously. And then you had Brendan Todd, which to me, not a quality 10K golfer. Akshay Bhatia, not a quality 10K golfer. But, in that upper echelon, I'd put him above Thomas Dietrich, and he finished 20th. So the whole reason I'm talking about this is this year, is the 10K range this year quality enough to consider to play? You have Seamus Power and Mackenzie Hughes. Those are your only two 10K golfers. And in my opinion, both of them are quality 10K golfers for this event. Seamus Power has tremendous course history, and Mackenzie Hughes is, if we're going to tier golfers, I'd say Mackenzie Hughes is a B+ tier golfer or a B tier golfer. You could throw him in the Seamus Power molds of previous years, the Thomas Dietrich molds of previous years. I mean, Mac Hughes has won, I know, at least once on tour. Maybe he's won twice on tour. I can't remember. Yeah, he has won twice on tour. He's a high quality 10K golfer. So when we went through all those years talking about 10K golfers, you've had at least two decent 10K golfers in each of those years. And those two, well, the one that Matt Fitzpatrick was in, that was the one year where you didn't have the two quality 10K golfers finish inside the top 20, but he didn't miss the cut. He didn't hurt you. He didn't help you win a GPP, but every other year there were two 10K golfers that were worth playing, that you could have played. And sometimes those two 10K golfers were in the optimal lineup, the GPP winning lineup, or the SweetSpot optimal, or just a realistic optimal. So this year, I think starting your lineup with Power or Hughes, everyone else is probably going to do it, but not a big deal. Not a big deal, because I think both of those guys, quality golfers, and I forget, are they in the AM or the PM wave? I think they're both PM golfers, right? Yeah, they're both PM golfers, so why wouldn't you? I don't know. I think this week is going to be somewhat easy on who to select first, and I think it's either one of those 10K golfers, and I honestly don't have an issue with any of the 9K golfers. Find your lane and stick to it. All right, that's going to be it for the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. Let's review. I forgot to pull up a review. Let's review last week's tournament before we move on to the bucket system and the Marquee Tee Times. And actually, this is a good time for me to talk to chat for a little bit. I see a couple of your guys' messages rolling through. Do you live in the country now? Pretty much. I live in a small town. You could call it country and big city moving. Yep, that's right. I forgot to watch last week. I'm sorry. It's all good, dude. It's all good. These fall series events aren't even that big of a deal. I do them just to stay relevant on YouTube and not to lose, viewers or subscribers. And I also play. Like, I'm always playing this game. I'm always competing in DFS contests. I'm going to do the research regardless, so why not share it with you guys? So if you can watch it, wonderful. If you can't, no big deal. Let me go ahead and pull up. Oh yeah, I'm still talking to you guys, right? Is there a triangle to make golf ball disappear too, like it does with airplanes and ships? I bet it does. I bet it does. I mean, you could call this week a weird week, and I think it applies. I only see 6 guys playing in the PM. What do you mean by that? AJ Love. Well, I only see 6 guys playing in the PM. I'm not sure what that means. AJ goes, right now I got 9K, 9K, 8K, and 3 7s. I think that's fine. Charlotte Harden goes, Wednesday stream threw you off. Yeah. I mentioned it early on in the stream, and it is mostly to do because I was apartment hunting Monday night down in the Minneapolis area, and it took a long time. I spent all day going from apartment to apartment to apartment. I did find one. I did get approved, and I will be moving at the end of the month. So that's all good. But when I drove home, I was spent. I fell asleep right away, 9 p.m. And then I didn't wake up until 9 a.m. So, yeah. It took a lot out of me. And then Tuesday was super busy. And then I started Zamboni driving Tuesday night. So I do it as kind of like a hobby job, basically. I like driving the Zamboni. It's as fun as you think it would be. So, and it's a nice way to make a little extra cash, especially when I'm about to be moving. But yeah, that's kind of what the whole thing. The reason why we're doing a Wednesday stream. I saw only 6 guys are starting after noon. Oh, yeah. I just copy the tee times from the PGA Tour website, and I use my local time when they tee off. Because when you have to change up, if you go to event time, depending on where it is, the PGA Tour will put in the actual the zone that it's in with the time. And on my spreadsheet, in just to what's the word I'm looking for? Just to prevent any kind of weirdness with my spreadsheet, I just keep everything in Central Standard Time. So yeah, it's not quote unquote PM on my website or on my spreadsheet on the cheat sheet, but it is the afternoon wave. So that's all. It starts 5 a.m. Central. Yep, exactly. Oh, my bad. Only 6 guys though in Marquee Tee Times. Yeah. You're talking about like 6 p.m. guys in the Marquee Tee Times? I mean, we'll get there when we get there. I'm not gonna sit on that right now. Okay, we'll talk more. Let me go ahead and do a review here of the Worldwide Technology Championship. And I like to start here with the summary page, which just shows how many buckets were successful. And how I do that is I look at the projections, which are found right here. We always round down in this one, and we always round up in the max projection. So round down in the minimum, round up in the maximum. Technically, this says 1 to 2, but in reality, we know there's always a 2-point buffer between the minimum and the maximum, and we always move down. We always move the minimum down if we can. So this one is actually 0 to 2, but you had 1 in the top 10 and you had 1 in the optimal lineup. So it's these 2 columns that I compare to the projection to figure out if the bucket was a success. And as I scroll through this, you're going to see all of them, but 1 bucket was successful. So 35, because there were 6 stat categories, 6 buckets, 35 were correct. So 35 out of 36, pretty darn good. Was that 93%, 95%, 96%? I can't remember what it is. Those are pretty good success rate. Now, I also have a SweetSpot optimal lineup that does follow the rules that I have set forth. Oh, I'm sorry. There was no last week buckets. So there were 30 buckets, not 36 buckets, 30. So 29 out of 30. It's pretty good still. Yes. So, okay. 29 out of 30 buckets were correct. And like I said, I do build a SweetSpot optimal. So I guess what we'll do is check that out right now and then come back to the Marquee Tee Times for the Worldwide Technology Championship. Again, doing a review of this. The optimal left $1,000 on the table. It scored 775.5 points. Your GPP scored 739.5, and it left $200 on the table. Your optimal were the top 6 guys on the leaderboard. That was Austin Eckroat, Justin Lauer, Carson Young, Max Grazerman, Joe Highsmith, and Sam Stevens. That's a 10K, a 10K, an 8K, and 4 7K golfers made up that optimal lineup. Your GPP was a 7, 7, 10, 8, 7, 7. So it's the same thing, a 10, an 8K, and 4 7Ks. The GPP was Grazerman, Stevens, Daniel Berger, Austin Eckroat, Justin Lauer, and Samuel Stevens. Did I say Nico Echeverria? I don't think so. Maybe I said Stevens twice. My bad. It's Nico was that sixth golfer. And again, that one scored 739.5. The optimal scored 775. The sweet spot optimal, which follows all of the rules that I place out under the bucket system, that scored 751.5. So that is directly between the GPP and the optimal. So the sweet spot optimal beats the $5 GPP. We could have won $25,000 if we would have played Austin Eckroat at 7,800, Lauer at 75, Grazerman at 10.4, Highsmith at 7.4, Stevens at 8.7, and Jacob Bridgman at $7,800. And the last piece that goes with the sweet spot process are the Marquee Tee Times. And again, how I do this is I look at the the top 9 groups in the field, which each group consists of 3 golfers. I select 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times, and I never play golfers that are playing together. Group 1 had a withdraw in it, so that removed that, and I didn't update the Marquee Tee Times, but I bet you Austin Eckroat and Harry Hall would have been up there somewhere. But if you look at that first group, it's Austin Eckroat and Harry Hall. Harry Hall finished 14th, but he only scored 95 points on DraftKings. Austin Eckroat was $7,800. He won the tournament and scored 146. It's a 50-point difference between the two, meaning you couldn't play Harry Hall. And obviously, I keep track of the optimal lineup. You don't see his name highlighted by anything. He was in the optimal. He was not in the GPP winning lineup, and he was not in the sweet spot optimal. So it was just Austin Eckroat. Move down, Nico Echeverria was in the GPP winning lineup, and none of his other golfers in the group finished inside the top 10, top 20, top 30, or, 64th was the next best. Grazerman was in the optimal, the sweet spot optimal, and the GPP winning lineup. So there you go. We have our 2 golfers there. And in his group, nobody was close to being in the optimal or GPP winning lineup. So we have our 2 golfers that were in the optimal lineup, Austin Eckroat and Max Grazerman. They're the only 2. And the sweet spot process tells you to select 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times to anchor your lineups around. And the beauty of all of that is you're only selecting 2 to 4. So if you choose 2, guess what you get to do? There are 9 groups, 3 golfers each. That means 27 golfers, and they're usually the best golfers in the field. You're only selecting 2. That means you get to get rid of 25 golfers out of your player pool who are the best golfers in the player pool or in the field usually, and then you select from the remaining golfers, and you follow the whole bucket system to follow through. So it really narrows down the correct plays. Obviously, you got to be on the right guys. You got to be on Grazerman, and you got to be on Eckroat. The GPP winning lineup had Eckroat, Echeverria, Grazerman, and Berger, and none of them played together. So even the GPP winning lineup, which did not follow the sweet spot process, that one won $25,000 and did not have golfers playing together. And the sweet spot optimal was Eckroat, Grazerman, and Bridgman, 3 golfers. So again, 2 to 4 from the Marquee Tee Times. All of the lineups that, I go over, the optimal, the GPP winning lineup, and the sweet spot optimal, all 3 of those lineups followed the Marquee Tee Times to a T, and none of them played together. So I enjoy it. It's the last piece that I personally review. I update everything with all the results and stuff like that. And then I put all the filters on, and I'm like, well, let's see if the Marquee Tee Times, like sometimes I'm dubious or skeptical, like, I don't think it's going to actually occur this time. As soon as I sorted it by the group rank, I go, of course. Why would it never? Like it almost always, and I say almost always because obviously we've seen it not work, but it's like 1 in 100. We're we're shooting nearly 99% when it comes to following the Marquee Tee Times. And I'm just not going to, I'm never going to falter from it. I'm always going to do it because why not? It keeps proving to be truthful every single week. So that was your review of the Worldwide Technology Championship. I like to do those reviews because I like to go right into the tournament at hand and talk about the bucket system. So let's go ahead and transition to that. And we're going to look at pretty much the same exact page that we did for the Worldwide Technology Championship while going over this. And I'm just going to make this really simple, really easy. You can follow along with me, or you can go check this out on your own. I do have this a part of the cheat sheet. Again, you can go to SweetSpotDFS.com and take a look at the cheat sheet there. I don't know if I still have it up. I don't think so. But this is what the cheat sheet looks like. And you can go to the bucket system here. Let me zoom out because that's way too zoomed in. But this is available to you guys. Check the link down in the description or the cheat sheet, or go to SweetSpotDFS.com, go to Fantasy Tools, and find the cheat sheet there. Anyways, basically the minimum projection you always round down, the maximum projection you always round up, and you want a 2-point buffer between the two numbers. And you always want to go down with the minimum before you go up with the maximum. So like this bucket right here, the last year twos, it says 0 to 1, but you want a 2-point buffer. So that means you bump the maximum up to 2, it's 0 to 2. And if you guys, if that's just so mind numbing and you hate even considering, like, I don't want to ever have to look at those numbers, request the optimizer, which again, you can do on SweetSpotDFS.com, or just email me directly at SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com. I already have them put in here. I already have the conditionals in the optimizer under the min and the max here under the buckets. So it's already on the optimizer. You don't have to do anything. You can tell the optimizer which golfers you like and plug them in however you want and let the optimizer do its work. It's going to use the bucket system completely. It's going to follow the whole SweetSpot rules and everything. So it makes things easier. But for this video, what I'm going to do, I want to just look at the anchor buckets. And one way I do that is I go into the max projection, I go filter by condition, greater than or equal to 2. And these are technically all of your anchor buckets. This means you want at least one golfer from any of these buckets. Last year's 6s are golfers who did not play last year. Last week 1s are golfers who finished inside the top 20 at the Worldwide Technology Championship. That's Cabo, Mexico. Also golfers who finish in that 20 to 40 range. You want at least one, although that one's pretty close to being a 0 to 3. I think I have it in the optimizer as 0 to 3. And then golfers who did not play. You want at least one there. I think that's kind of pretty easy to figure out. Course history 3s, course history 6s, recent form 2s, recent form 3s, and then salaries and strokes gained stats. Now, I like to go just a little bit further down and cut out some of the fat here, trim out the fat. And I just like to select anything less than typically 30. Like I usually go 25 and less. Let me see what 29 and 30 are. 29 are recent form 3s. Yeah, we want to keep that. 30 is course history 3. Okay, yeah. We'll talk about these buckets right here. So basically all this tells us is we want golfers, at least one golfer from each of these buckets. That's what these projections are telling us. That's going over the anchor buckets. That's what it's telling us. So one way for you guys to do this at home, or if you're following along with me, go ahead and make sure there's a filter on your spreadsheet, on the cheat sheet. Sort by salaries top to bottom because it's just the easiest way to do it. And we'll talk about the very first bucket, which is last week 1s. So last week 1s, how you figure this one out is you go into the last week bucket, that little filter that's there, clear everything out and only select one. And these are the golfers we have. We have 14 of them. That is correct. There are 14. Here's a big thing. On average, we normally only see 2. So we have way more golfers than we typically do. And it's been a pretty successful bucket, meaning it delivers in top 10 finishers. And that is with an average of 2 or less every single year. So we have way more in the field this week. And 4 of them are in the 9K range, 3 of them are in the 8K range, and the rest are in the 7Ks. So this is a 1 to 3 bucket. Again, these are golfers who finished inside the top 20 last week at the Worldwide Technology Championship. I personally, I'm never going to go over 3. There's no reason for me to go over 3. And I can tell you just by looking at these, here are my favorites. McNeely, Stevens, Berger, and Carson Young. Those are the only 4 that I truly like. Some that are okay would be Justin Lauer and Nico Echeverria. But when we go over the combo buckets, you're going to see Echeverria's not in a favorable position. I don't know about Lauer. I don't know. You all know I don't really care about leverage. I don't think about ownership or anything like that. I don't know what Justin Lauer's ownership is. I have a feeling that I don't think he's going to play that well this week. It's just a feeling. It really isn't going on anything. I think too many people are expecting he's going to play well this week. And I think this is a letdown spot. I think most of you guys are going to be let down by Lauer more than you're going to be helped. And he is also in a bad wave. So that AM wave. I could be completely wrong. Again, it's just a feeling. It's not like I've never been wrong with my feelings, so take that for whatever it's worth. And I'm really not going to talk more about any of these golfers. If you like some of them, again, 1 to 3. Don't play more than 3 and at least play one of them. So don't play 0. That's the beauty of the bucket system. It's giving you a guideline to follow. You don't have to do it specifically like just select 2 or just select 3, but select somewhere between 1 to 3. Last week 2s, this is a really close bucket to be 0 to 3, and I think I have it in the optimizer as a 0 to 3. So these are golfers that finished in that 20 to 40 range at the Worldwide Technology Championship, and it's a pretty good hit rate when it comes to golfers who finish inside the top 10. Not so much the optimal lineup. Same goes with the bucket we were just talking about. Normally we see about 3.5 golfers from this bucket any given year, and we have 13 this year. So there are more golfers in this bucket. So 1 to 3 is the projection. Technically, or not technically, but in my opinion, it should be 0 to 3. But you have golfers like Ben Griffin in it, Lucas Glover, Alex Smalley. Those are golfers that are pretty decent at golf courses like this, especially on Bermuda golf courses. So I have no issue if you want to select at least one of those guys. And then like notable mentions would be Kevin Streelman. I don't mind Nick Hardy or even Henrik Norlander. And I mean, Patrick Rogers, regardless of if you think he's a loser or not, he's still a good golfer. So those are all notable mentions. And I think playing one of these guys is going to be just fine. Moving on to course history 3s. These are golfers with kind of like in the middle course history. Not great, not terrible, but just okay. So again, I just make sure all the other filters are clear and I just only select course history 3s. Now let's see, what other information can we get? We have 30 golfers in that bucket this year. Normally we see 20.33. The projection's 1 to 3. Not a good success rate. Not a good success rate at all. 4.92 is not good. Frequency is pretty high though. Normally only, never seen more than 1 in the optimal lineup. So yeah, 1 to 3, and man, let's see what golfers we got, I guess. We have Lucas Glover, 9,400. 5 AK golfers. We got Novak, Vegas, Echeverria, Hubbard, and Nick Taylor, and then a bunch of 7 and 6Ks. So that kind of fits in with what I was just talking about. So yeah, it's not a great bucket. It doesn't have a lot of good golfers in it. It's definitely a bucket that you need to express a little caution with selecting golfers from. I would not play more than 3. That's for damn sure. I would not play more than 3. And finding one to anchor around would be difficult too. I think I leave this bucket open, and it's my last bucket that I'm gonna select golfers from. That's that. I don't even have a name to give you. Like Johnny Vegas is 4th in my model, and I'm very cautious about playing Vegas this week, but I don't know. maybe we play him because nobody else seems to be talking highly about of him. I also know that the optimizer is selecting KH Lee like crazy. Notably, Vegas is in the PM wave. The rest of these guys are in the AM wave that are kind of here at the top. The other PM guy is David Lipsky, which I don't mind. And then it goes $7,200 and down. So you're definitely, you know, finding more risky plays down there. The next bucket, recent form 2 and recent form 3. These are both like 2 to 4, but I think I'm going to make them 1 to 4s. So let's make sure there are no active filters and clear everything out and just select recent form 2. So technically it's a 2 to 4 bucket. You want to select 2 golfers from it. And there's a lot of good golfers in this bucket. So yeah, finding 2, I don't think is going to be an issue at all. Kind of reinforces like the Seamus Power types. Ben Griffin we were seeing in that one bucket. Which one was it? The last week 2s, I wonder. Because it wouldn't have been in a course history bucket. I don't mind it, I suppose. Nico Echeverria now is showing up in enough of these buckets where it's kind of a consideration. I mean, the combo buckets are telling me not to play Nico Echeverria, but he is already in a ton of buckets together that are saying, hey, he's got a good top 10 percentage, like a good possibility to finish inside the top 10. I suppose if I was to kind of move off of that, I don't mind playing a Nick Taylor, a Kevin Yu, Jacob Bridgman, even Smalley. I like Hoey. I like Carson Young. I like most of the golfers in this bucket, to be quite frank with you. Like I don't know what else to say. I like Matty Schmid this week. So does everybody else. Everybody in the grandma likes Matty Schmid this week. I also like Andrew Putnam. This bucket would be difficult because I'd almost want to play 6 golfers from it. But here's the beauty of the bucket system. I don't know what the hit rate is with the bucket system, but I know it's somewhere between 85 and 93% correct every single week. And if that's the case, there is a possibility that this is a bucket that can be broken. We could have more golfers from this bucket finish inside the top 10. But what if it follows the exact 2 to 4 projection? That means it only limits you to 4 golfers. You can't play more than 4. Because that's what I'm thinking about. My issue is I like too many of these golfers. It's going to be very difficult to limit my exposures to any of these guys. So my 2 cents on it. That's a really rich bucket. That's hard to ignore. Moving on to the next one. This one is close to a 1 to 4, but technically it's 2 to 4. And again, we've got some good golfers in here. I like most of them. The optimizer really likes Ryo Hisatsune, which is whatever. It's fine. It also really likes Johnny Vegas and Maverick McNeely, which, I mean, those are all plays I don't mind playing. I'm not going to play Bill Haas, maybe 1 McCormick, 1 Molinari, 1 Whitney, 1 Kelly Craft, and that's about it in the 6K range. Like I'm certainly not falling in love with any of those 6K golfers. And I really don't care about a lot of these 7K golfers, to be quite honest with you. So that would be kind of your main buckets. We're not going to talk about salary or the 9K range. Just so you guys know, the buckets are telling us we want to select 1 to 3 9K golfers. And then I'm not going to talk about the Strokes Gained 5 bucket. That's a 0 to 3 bucket. And I'm not going to make it an anchor bucket. So those are all of your anchor buckets. Let's move on to the next piece, which are the Marquee Tee Times. And guess what? We got a transition page for that now. If you're following along with me on the cheat sheet, to get to the Marquee Tee Times, you'll want to make sure there are no filters active, and you want to sort by group rank. And we want to sort A to Z on the group rank. You're going to see that's going to follow a color combination. You see all the golfers here are have some kind of color combination next to them. And I need to change my zoom in so you guys can see all of the golfers, not just a few. There we go. Here are all of your your Marquee Tee Time golfers. Now, the rule is you want to select 2 to 4 golfers from these groups. I'm highlighting the top 9 groups of the tournament. And this is all based off the SweetSpot ranks that I have for these golfers. So in group 1, we have our two 10K golfers. So if it isn't already obvious that you want to select a 10K golfer, well, I guess I might have to pump the brakes. Daniel Berger's in this group too. I was wondering why the optimizer was not, when I was building lineups before jumping on, I was wondering why Daniel Berger wasn't being chosen, and it's because Mackenzie Hughes and Seamus Power are ranked above him, and that's why they're selecting him first, or selecting them first, and that's why I'm not getting any Daniel Berger lineups. So that's a huge decision right away. Do you like Berger more than you like Hughes or Power? That's kind of like, that's going to have to be the question you got to ask yourself. Personally, I don't. I think there's still enough question marks with Daniel Berger. He is a high quality golfer, or he once was before he had his injuries and his surgeries that helped fix those injuries. Man, I'd much rather play Seamus Power, and I'd much rather play Mackenzie Hughes. Now, if you want to go down more of the balance build, there you go. It's a perfect reason to go to Daniel Berger. If you're going to play more of a balance build, which by all means do so, I think it's fine. I don't know if you have a bad choice in the matter there. Next group is a pretty solid group. It's Lucas Glover, Nico Echeverria, and Brendan Todd. I got no issue with any of those golfers. I'm not really anchoring around any of them, so I'm not going to talk much more about them. The next one we have is Jacob Bridgman, Vince Whaley, and Martin Laird. 8K, 7K, 6K. So choose your poison wisely on that one. I don't have a take one way or the other. I kind of like Vince Whaley this week, but I liked him last week. He burned me, so I kind of already have a little bit of that bias against him, but I don't mind going back to him. Nick Taylor, Kevin Yu, and Peter Milnati. Friends, don't let friends draft Peter Milnati. Just throwing that out there. You are all my friends. Don't play Peter Milnati. Nick Taylor, Kevin Yu, those are two golfers I don't mind playing. They're both in the 8K range. And if you want to play Peter Milnati, do so at your own risk. Patrick Rogers, Justin Lauer, and Sung Yul No. I don't mind any of them, to be quite frank with you. I'd much rather go Rogers over any of them, but we all know Rogers has his issues, so I don't know. This is interesting. I didn't really look at this lineup before, but it's Maverick McNeely, not lineup, but this group. Maverick McNeely, Johnny Vegas, and Camilo Villegas. McNeely's third in my model. Vegas, not Vegas, but Vegas is fourth in my model, and the Camilo is 83rd. I like Vegas. I got no issue playing him. I also like Mav McNeely. It is also interesting to see that it's either Vegas or McNeely, and that's why the optimizer was playing both of those golfers quite a bit. Like, it was choosing them quite a bit. And it was one or the other. It was never both of them, and this explains why. Moving on to the next one, it's Alex Smalley, Michael Kim, and Alejandro Tosti. I really don't care either way. They're all in the 7K range. They're good filler golfers for your lineup. Then we got Sam Stevens, Norlander, and Dylan Wu. That's a pretty good group. And I don't mind golfers from either of those I don't mind golfers from that group. And then the last one is Matty Schmid, Andrew Putnam, and Russell Knox. Russell Knox is a late addition. I don't mind Russell Knox if you want to play him. I think this could be a perfect prove it spot. What if he gets his card back this week? He's good enough. I think he's good enough to win. Obviously, he hasn't been playing that great, but he is a past champion, not at this tournament, but on the PGA Tour. Why not? And I mean, I like Matty Schmid. I like Andrew Putnam. I'm going to be playing both of those guys. So those are your Marquee Tee Times. I'm going to run I'm going to ask two things from you guys. Two things. One is select 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times. If you want me to build lineups for you, I certainly can on stream. I already built lineups and I can talk about them if you would like me to. But if you want me to build lineups for you, just select 2 to 4 golfers that are from the Marquee Tee Times, and I will build lineups around whatever rules you want. You want to go all PM? You want to go all AM? What do you want to see? I can give you guys some ideas that way. The second thing, roll call. I don't know if you've ever seen. Actually, I used to word it this way. In the description, it says, "Let's hit the sweet spot," and you'll get an additional entry. I don't know if any of you guys ever read the description. Maybe going forward, you should, because I'm going to leave little Easter eggs in there for you to find like different ways to get more entries to the giveaway. But why don't you just go ahead and put that in for the roll call? Let's hit the sweet spot, and each one of you will get an entry into the giveaway. That's roll call number 1. What's going on, Lombardi Lee? Nice to see you. Been working late on Wednesday and Tuesday nights. That's why I haven't been in the streams. It's all good, dude. All good. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and copy these over to the monthly and go ahead and just delete those. Ping, Ryan Henson goes ping. That's funny. Are you talking about the thumbnail where it's 2 ping golfers on there? I think that's pretty funny. Okay, I'll let those all come in. If you guys don't have golfers to select to build some lineups, I can go over what I kind of talked about. I'm actually going to put some music on, because why not? Okay, so I think there are several options this week when it comes to building lineups. I'm sure most of you guys have already built your lineups, but I have done PM, all PM golfers, all AM golfers. And let's see. I have the lineups over here. Let's see. Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit. So from orange up, these are all AM golfers. Orange for Sunrise, of course. And most of them started with Ben Griffin. Otherwise, they start with Lucas Glover, Patrick Rogers. But looks like Lucas Glover is in a lot of these lineups. Nick Taylor, the optimizer liked. Mark Hubbard, the optimizer liked. Mark Hubbard, they liked a lot. And then we see different variations of KH Lee, Vince Whaley, Jacob Bridgman in these lineups, Nick Taylor, and then obviously just random fillers at the end. That's kind of all your AMs. I would have built a few more, to be quite honest with you. I'd have built a few more, but didn't have the time. Now, when it comes to these PM golfers, all PM, I'm more partial to this. Not only do you get Mac Hughes, but you also get Seamus Power. And it's these golfers from the purple up. These are all your PM, because obviously purple, we get closer to dusk, and that's what you get. So, Carson Young shows up a lot. Rico Hoey shows up a lot. Putnam is in here with Seamus Power. Matty Schmid's in here with Mac Hughes. Mav McNeely's in here with Mac Hughes. So, and Rico and Carson Young seem to be kind of anchor plays around them. And then look at the 6K range over here, or the low 7, high 6K range. It's just a bunch of random golfers. And we've got Ben Coles, Nate Lashley, Wesley Bryan, Hayden Springer, Rio Satsune. Those are all golfers that also kind of, so you kind of have little randomizations over here. And then it's like Carson Young, Rico Hoey over here, some Johnny Vegas in there, Putnam, Schmid, McNeely, to go along with Hughes, Power, or Hughes and Power. And then when I didn't have PM AM set to, you know, all PM or all AM, I had built these 8 lineups right here. Most of them started with Mackenzie Hughes. Now I did have exposure set to this, so I didn't let the optimizer select Mac Hughes more than 50%, but it is worth noting that it did not choose Seamus Power. Like it really would not choose Seamus. It either wanted Mackenzie Hughes or it moved to a 9K golfer. So did not like Seamus. And I don't know, be that what it may. Actually, I had to force, I think I kicked out Mackenzie Hughes just to put Seamus Power in these lineups. Otherwise, I think the optimizer was going to select Mac Hughes the entire time. And we can go over that here shortly. But I don't mind the combination of Rico Hoey and Carson Young, especially like mixing it up with Matty Schmid or Maverick McNeely. Got no issue with that. Even Andrew Putnam, that feels really good. I do like Putnam this week quite a bit. And to mix up with like Seamus Power, yeah, I got no issue. And then Vegas, like, so I am way more partial to the PM AMs. These lineups to me feel better than starting with Ben Griffin or even Lucas Glover. Like, it just doesn't feel great. And you can mix and match. Absolutely, you can mix and match. Mac Hughes with any of these guys down here. So yeah, I got no issues. No issues. I'm actually going to remove this, though. Remove these lineups because I want the roster to be fresh. And no or nothing manipulating the optimizer. Okay. Sam Steven, Vince Whaley, Johnny Vegas for Lombardi Lee. Okay. Trying to make a sound for when the ball hits the sweet spot, either way being funny. Oh, I got you. I got what that means. Yeah. The ping. I love it. My lineup's already in and too superstitious to change. All right. Let's talk about one thing before we build lineups. I will pin your message, Lombardi, to the top, but let's go over the anchor buckets, or not so much the anchor buckets, the combination buckets. This is available for free members right here, the 7K combo buckets. And just to make a case for this, why you should be looking at this is how I won $1,800 at the Genesis Invitational. Now it's only one tournament where I did that, but I've had a successful year kind of following just primarily the 7K combo buckets. I choose one guy from tier 1 almost every single week, and it helps. It has helped more than it's hurt. So we got Rio Hisatsune, Alejandro Tosti, Ben Coles, Joel Damon, and Hayden Springer. Now I put off the cutoff mark right here because there are 19 instances or 19 combinations that Hayden Springer has with other golfers that finish inside the top 10. That's what that means. That's what the sum over here means. Then it drops down to 11 for Pearson Cootie and Cameron Champ. That's not to say they don't have a worse chance to finish inside the top 10 than these guys, but I'm just putting that cutoff here. Look at Rio's score, by the way, 37. He's almost double of what Alejandro Tosti is, who's in second place at 22. None of these things are a for certain that you need to play these guys. In fact, back in the day, I used to always count down like 4, 5, or 6. I don't know what it was, to be honest with you, but I think it was 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's Joel Damon. I'd always count down 4. I think it was like 4 to 7. And I'd always pick someone in there to build my lineups around. So maybe it's a Joel Damon week. I don't know. Probably not, but could be. I'm not sold on Hisatsune. I certainly don't trust Tosti. I do like Ben Coles quite a bit. So with this tier 1, I don't know, but I'm still gonna live and die by it. Tier 2, it's a 0 to 2. You want to select 0 to 2 golfers from tier 2. Whoever you like. But then it's 0 to 1 for the golfers down here in tier 3. There is an argument to be made that I should have cut it off where Alex Smalley is, but this is great to see. The 7K combo buckets tend to work every single week. It's not 100%, but I think it's probably in the 70% and up range where you really only want to play one of these guys. And when you take a look at this, there's some good names here. Carson Young, Vince Whaley, Nick Hardy, Henrik Norlander. I like Austin Smotherman, but you also have Wesley Bryan down here, Alex Smalley, and Sung Yul No. They all have 0. Those 3 golfers have 0. One thing I'll say is don't play more than 2 for sure from tier 3, but probably just limit it to 1. And that might actually help you avoid some of these bombs that could blow up most lineups. So it's always good to know. Like, I obviously like Carson Young. He popped in a lot of those other lineups. But I have to watch to see if he ever gets paired up with Vince Whaley or maybe like Alex Smalley, because I've seen some Smalley lineups being built, or even Smotherman lineups. So I'll have to keep an eye on that when I do make my lineups. And then paying members get to see this. You guys are seeing it for free because it's late on a Wednesday night. And if I wanted to sell you guys on this is how I'm going to do it. Seamus Power and Mackenzie Hughes both tied with the 6. So be that as it may, do that with however you want. It doesn't matter to me. I like it. Andrew Putnam, high and away above everyone else, has 12 instances where his combo buckets have finished inside the top 10 from other golfers. Justin Lauer, Sam Stevens, they're up there, and they're not like super up there. That's fine. Doug Gim and Lucas Glover. That's good to see down there because I don't pair any of those guys up together, but you play one of them if you want. This kind of follows the 7K combo buckets. Probably want to select 1 to 2, probably 0 to 2 to be honest with you from these 9Ks up here. 0 to 2 from the middle group and 0 to 1 the bottom. I think that helps. And then the AK combos, Berger and Bridgman are tied at the top. That's pretty good. Both have 8 instances of golfers who finished inside the top 10 with their combo buckets. Nico Echeverria is down here. Now he has 1, so it doesn't take him out of the picture completely, but it also helps me pump my brakes and playing too much Nico Echeverria. And in the middle, it's not that big of a deal. And I do have 6K combo buckets, but to be fair, and to be completely honest with you, this is a crapshoot. I don't even know how well this usually works. It is 0 to 2 all around. I don't care. I'm not spending too much time trying to focus in on this stuff. I'll just let the optimizer do its work and build its lineups that way. I'm actually going to pull this off to the side so I can take a look at it while I'm building lineups and see if it follows a lot of the processes. Any questions? Any questions you guys might have? Again, I was asking to build 2 to 4 golfers here, but we have Lombardi Lee who wants to build some lineups, so we can do that. Sam Stevens, Vince Whaley, and Johnny Vegas. Do you have changes? Because I was playing around with the 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Let's see. I'll build you a few lineups here. Ooh, first lineup. Okay, first of all, let's see here. We have 4 a.m. golfers and 2 p.m. You want to know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a max of 3 a.m. golfers. We're going to rerun this and see what it does. Mac Hughes, Sam Stevens, Johnny Vegas, Vince Whaley, Ryan Moore, and David Skins. I think that's fine. You know what's funny? Okay. So you have Vince Whaley and okay, never mind. I thought you might have had Carson Young in your lineup. Just kidding. All right, this next one is Mac Hughes, Sam Stevens, Johnny Vegas, Vince Whaley, David Skins, Karl Yuan. Let's kick out David Skins. I don't want too many lineups with Skins in it. Not saying that that's not a bad lineup, but it's going to continue to build lineups with David Skins in it. So we'll move on. Griffin, Stevens, Vegas, Whaley, Hisatsune, and Alonto Griffin. I mean, geez, I almost forgot. We got to go ahead and put this in there. Got to, for the assassin. It's a good lineup. And I don't mind going back to Alonto Griffin. Stevens, Putnam, Vegas, Whaley, and KH Lee. I think that's fine. That one's fine. I like this lineup a lot. Stevens, Putnam, Vegas, Hoey, Whaley, and KH Lee. I'm actually going to bring back possibility of Hoey, and I'm going to kick out KH Lee. KH Lee is going to show up a lot, and he's going to be better rated than most of the golfers above him. So let's go ahead and limit that. Then we get Sam Stevens, Vegas, Taylor, Hoey, Whaley, and Ben Coles. There you go. It's a great lineup. It's a very good lineup, and that's 3 a.m., 3 p.m. It's pretty good. You've picked 2 a.m. golfers yourself, so yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
And this one is pretty good as well. We get Mark Hubbard and Pearson Cootie added to it. Don't mind that one at all. Gim, Stevens, Vegas, Hoey, Whaley, and Trace Crow. I don't really care for Trace Crow. We ain't eating crow with Trace, that's for sure. Stevens, Putnam, Vegas, Hoey, Whaley, SH Kim. I like that lineup a lot. That's a really good one. Let's see. We get Whaley in there with Hoey. I think that's fine, right? Yeah. Where is Hoey on that list? Is he at the top? Right in the middle. That's fine. We're good.
Oh, you gotta get him that hot tour and spit on that thing. You get me?
Had to throw it in there. Had to. All right, we get Lucas Glover, Sam Stevens, Johnny Vegas, Rico Hoey, Vince Whaley, and Brandon Wu. Woo. We don't like that one. That one doesn't fit with the combo buckets. I have the 7K combo buckets in front of me on a different screen, and Vince Whaley with Brandon Wu, not a great combo. Sam Ryder, does he fit in there? He does not. Sam Ryder's right in the middle as well. Yep. So this one's fine. Ooh, Hayden Springer, where does he fit? Right up at the top, so we get a tier 1 7K golfer, a tier 2, and a tier 3. Love it. Good lineup. But again, they start with Lucas Glover. So let's kick Lucas Glover out. I don't want to see that much Lucas Glover. I don't think anyone wants to see that much Lucas Glover. Rory looks real nice. It's the one thing I'll always remember. Who's the best dressed golfer on the PGA Tour? Gets to Lucas Glover. I think Rory looks real nice. All right, so we start with Sam Stevens in this one, Matty Schmid, Johnny Vegas, Carson Young, Vince Whaley. So we can't do Carson Young and Vince Whaley together. And then Joel Damon. Joel Damon's actually a good play. I'm going to go ahead and kick out Carson Young. I do like Carson Young, but we're going to kick him out. We're going to follow that whole 7K combo buckets. We get Sam Stevens in this one, Matty Schmid, Vegas, Whaley, Lashley, and Streelman. Let's see, where are they when it comes to... let's find Streelman first. 7,300. Oh, he's up at the top of tier 2. That's good. Lashley. Yeah, well, as long as we don't have 2 up there, so that's fine. That works with Lashley. He's right in the middle of tier 2 as well. Okay, so that lineup works. I'll build one more. And we get Joel Damon with Nate Lashley, so that one works. Yeah, I got no issue. Joel Damon's in tier 1. Whaley is down in tier 3. And Lashley's right in the middle in tier 2. So that one works. Okay, cool. Well, those are 10 lineups for you, Mr. Lombardi. Hopefully those work out for you. I got AJ Love down here that wants Griffin, Hoey, and Carson Young. Okay. Griffin, Hoey, 79 or 80? What was he? 79, right? Yep. And Carson Young. Okay. That one works. Carson Young's there. Ricky. Okay, yeah. Yep. All right, so we'll build 10 lineups. I'm going to save this one and then remove it. So we have a little gap to show whose lineups are whose. Who's who? Lombardi, you are welcome, sir. All right, we get Ben Griffin, Johnny Vegas, Rico Hoey, Carson Young, Vince Whaley. So we can't do that. We got to kick out Vince Whaley. If you don't want to, if you don't believe in that, that's fine. Go ahead and play that lineup. But we're gonna kick out Whaley and create a new one. All right. Completely different. Griffin, Putnam, 2 9s, Vegas an 8, Rico and Carson Young both high 7Ks, and then David Skins. Sure. Got no issue with that one. We're gonna kick out Skins though. Griffin, Vegas, Taylor, Hoey, Carson Young, and KH Lee. I also don't have an issue with that lineup. That one's pretty good. I am going to kick out KH Lee though. Moving on. Ben Griffin, Lucas Glover, Bridgman, Hoey, Young, and Lonto. Love it. I'm gonna kick out Glover. Actually, do you like Glover? AJ, I can keep Glover in here if you'd like me to. I'll bring him back if you tell me to. If not, no big deal. We'll keep going. And I like these results. Griffin, Putnam, Vegas, Hoey, Carson Young, SH Kim. That's a great lineup. How many AMs? 2 AM golfers. Okay, that works. Next lineup puts Trace Crow in there, except instead of SH Kim. Whatever. Friends don't let friends play Peter Malnati, so we'll move on from there. Not feeling crazy Karl this week, but hey, maybe it's a breakout week for him. McNeely, Griffin, Bridgman, Hoey, Young, and Yuan. Sure, let's save it because it's not terrible. AJ goes, Glover is hit or miss to me. I agree. So having one of them is just fine. I don't want to play more than 10% of him. So if I'm building you 10 lineups, we got the 10% in there. Next lineup for you is McNeely, Griffin. Love that start already. Hoey, Carson Young, the Assassin, Rio Assassine, and then Dylan Wu. Dylan Wu is in the bottom. He's a tier 3 7K, so we ain't doing that one because he's down there with Carson Young. This lineup, however, has my interest. Hayden Springer's a tier 1 7K combo bucket guy. Carson Young is a tier 3, and Rico is a tier 2. This works perfectly. Griffin, Vegas, Nick Taylor. That's a lovely lineup, dude. That's a great lineup. We're going to color that one green because we like it. That's 2 AMs and 4 PMs. I think I'm going to kick out probably Hayden Springer. I was going to get cute and say we should actually no. Let's keep Hayden Springer because he's a top 7K. Do I kick out Nick Taylor? Let me look at my AK combos. Nah, Nick Taylor is okay. Vegas is right there with Nick Taylor. So let's kick one of them out. Let's kick out Vegas because we might be able to create different types of lineups without Vegas in it. This one we get Griffin and then Brendan Todd. Oof. Taylor, Hoey, Young, and the Assassin. Yeah, I don't mind that one. The Assassin's way up at the top, by the way. He's a tier 1 guy of the 7K combo buckets. Sure, let's just save it, and then I'm going to kick out Brendan Todd. Brendan Todd has been playing very underwhelmingly, and I don't trust him. I also don't trust Nick Taylor, but I'd rather play Nick Taylor. This one's fine. Is this 3? Yeah, 3 a.m., 3 p.m.s. Griffin, Lauer, Bridgman, Hoey, Young, and Griffin. 2 Griffins. We get Lonto and Ben Griffin. Okay. Lauer. What do we see with Lauer? Lauer's sort of high on the 9K combo buckets. Okay, so that's fine. Bridgman is good. He's high in the 8K. Okay, this is a good lineup. At first glance, I don't like it, but it works. I'm gonna kick out Justin Lauer. We get Griffin, Schmid, Hoey, Young, Michael Kim, Rio, Zatsune. What do we see here? 7K combos. We get Rio, who's at the top, Kim of the Michael kind, right in the middle, tier 2. Carson Young's at the bottom, and okay, this one works too. This one's fine. I'm going to kick out Michael Kim, who is an AM golfer. Is that a 3-3? That's a 4 p.m. and 2 a.m. lineup. That one's fine. Griffin, Rogers, Bridgman, Hoey, Young, and Lonto Griffin. That's a great lineup. I like that lineup a lot. Is that a 4? That's a 3-3. Okay. Those are 20 lineups. You know what? I've forgotten to do this. And I think it's because I knew we were never going to get to the goal. Let's see if I can gift out some memberships. Just because. I tried doing this before and I couldn't. So I don't know what was preventing me. Let's see if I can. I do have the dollar bill sign. There we go. Membership gifting. Woohoo. We're gifting 5 right now. Mr. Waking Up. We got to wake him. Oh, Barry got one. That's sweet. Nuke got one. Lovely. Joanne and John Bizzle. There we go. The crew. AJ, I think because you're a member, and I appreciate you because I know you resubbed. I think because you're a member, it wasn't gonna gift you one. Where do I have no ranked? Sung You'll Know, you mean? Let's take a look. Sung You'll Know is like $7,200, right? 60th. 60, so right in the middle. Had a bad finish here last year, finished 72nd place. Not super great on Bermuda, but not terrible, according to this this field. Finished 45th last week. Not terrible. He is a strokes gained 4 golfer, so that means his off the tee game's not super great, not super impressive. Positive though on approach, around the green, and putting, so that's great. What did he look like? What does he look like on the past 7 weeks? Positive off the tee, but negative on approach and positive everywhere else. So actually, he's pretty good. He's fine. Yes, sure. He is in a Marquee Tee Time, so got no issues with that one. Okay. I don't know if I have anything else to talk about. And I think I'm done building lineups. Unless there's someone out there that someone new that wants lineups built, I think we're just gonna take off for the night because I still have things to do. Got babies to kiss and people in hands to shake or whatever it is. I forget what it's called, but I got some things to do. You can always reach me at SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com. Next Wednesday is the last stream of the year for PGA DFS. I might have different streams regarding the website, next Tuesday will just be a PGA DFS stream. That next Wednesday, the day after, it's gonna be a community stream. So we're gonna put an order in for merchandise Wednesday. I will have different ideas for merchandise, so we'll do that Wednesday, and I'll let you guys vote on what you want. So just be ready on Wednesday. I'll probably go live at 8 p.m. again, and just basically get all your guys's, ideas and stuff like that, and then also showcase the website. I'll be doing that Tuesday night as well. So those are two things to look forward to. And then the whole month of December, I'll be moving, at the end of November, but that kind of goes into December. So I'll be situating the apartment, or I'll be setting up the apartment. I will definitely get everything that I want on the website before the new year. So be on the lookout for that. And I think I'll probably just put some videos out there for strategy, because why not? Probably the best time to put videos out before the beginning of the new season. So that's probably what you can look forward to from me in the month of December. But we still have one more week after this, so I will see you next Tuesday night. I don't think I have anything else to talk about, honestly.
Pretty good. It's pretty.
I didn't mean to. I did not mean. That was a fat finger.
Pretty good.
Thank you, Larry David. I'm gonna take that down. I'm gonna throw this up there though, just a reminder. Oh, that's a good look. A very good look. Forgot I even had that page up. Oh, there we go. This looks better. Be subscribed, comment below, earn your entry that way. $5 I'll be giving away next week. If miraculously we can get 19 new members, I will do the monthly giveaway of $100. That will be next week. But yeah, Tuesday PGA DFS stream and Wednesday community stream. We'll go over merchandise options and talk more about the future of the channel. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.